From one dog parent to another, there are some things that you and I need to keep on our phones, information wise, about our dogs, so that while we're out and about, while we are trying to do something, while we are in an emergency situation, we have the information there should we need it. We don't have to call home. We don't have to call someone to look these things up. We don't have to try to guess while we're doing things. The first thing that you need to keep on your phone, and I recommend you keep this information in your notes section so that you can just go to your search tab, type in those words, and it will find it in your notes section. The first thing I want you to keep in there is your dog's food type. What type of food are you feeding your dog? You will need this when you go to the vet. You will need this when you go shopping. You may need this if you are traveling and you brought the dog food with you, but you have to get an emergency set of dog food because something happened and it's taking longer than you thought. You're going to need that dog food for answering questions, again, about health-related things for your dogs. So having that written down is incredibly important. Now, you might order your dog food online, in which case you can just go into the app, you can see your past orders, but I still like to have it in the notes section of my phone for two reasons. It makes it easier to find. It's less buttons I have to push. It means that if I'm sending it to somebody who's buying it on my behalf, so like somebody's at the store and they asked me if I needed anything, I said, can you pick up a bag of dog food? I can just copy and paste that exact brand into it. I also like to keep screenshots of this in my phone in a special album. That way, if I need to send someone a picture of a bag, they can see it as well. And when you're writing these things down, write down all the information. So the brand, the type of food, what's in it, because we know dog food's all over the place, right? And so you want to make sure that you have all those things annotated inside of your phone so you can easily access that. The next thing I want you to keep on your phone is your dog's measurements. That is their neck size, their chest size, their tummy size, their back size. Anything you're going to need measurement-wise for your dog, you can also put their weight in there. That's going to be helpful to you as well. And this information is going to be great if you are shopping and you're looking at a sweater or a dog coat or a new collar, or you're trying to do some kind of costumey type thing that you're doing for Christmas and you want to make sure it's the correct size. Even measuring their head size is going to be helpful for hats at Christmas time or in the winter, or if you're trying to do something where somebody's creating something for you, you can send the dog's measurements over. This is going to be very helpful for you when you're looking at the size charts, because even though my English Springers are typically a size medium, different brands have different things, and sometimes they're a large and sometimes they're a small, and sometimes they're weirdly in between things, and it's hard to find stuff for them because they're still puppies and growing right now. So having that information makes it a lot easier, especially if you are shopping for something and they are maybe already in their crates asleep. I cannot tell you the number of times that I have found something that I wanted to purchase from a store and I found it at 9 o'clock at night and my girls were already in bed and I didn't want to disturb them and I didn't have those measurements. Having those there is going to be incredibly helpful. And if you have, crafty people in your life who may want to create a dog scarf for you or a dog hat, now you've got the measurements, you can send it right over to them. But this is incredibly helpful. I cannot tell you how many times before I wrote this down on my phone, I would be in a store and think, is this too long, too short for my dog? Is it gonna fit around them? It was a problem. And I carry a tape measure around with me, but I wasn't with the dogs. And so what was I going to do? Now that I have it written down, it is much more cohesive with how I am shopping to make sure I have what I am going to need. You also want to make sure that you have information about their shots in your phone. Now, some vets will have an app and some will allow you to have access to your dog's records. Most don't. My current vet has an app, but I still don't have access to their records. You have to specifically request them to get them. It's not like they have their past appointment dates or their shot dates or their medical information inside of the app. And so you writing these things down is incredibly helpful so that you don't have to go searching for records, especially if you're traveling. If you are out and about with your dog and someone questions you on it, or you have to, you have to talk to authorities about it, or something is happening, you need to make sure that you have that information there and can prove that they have indeed had their shots or whatever it happens to be, especially if you are traveling like outside of town. It's one thing if you're going into town and somebody says, okay, well, what's your dog's information? And something entirely different when you are out of state or not at home or you can't go get it or you're not within the vicinity of your vet, whatever it happens to be. Have that information there. Just make sure you know it. That also helps you in the planning process. If you're out and about and you see someone is doing dog shots and you don't maybe want to work with your vet this season, you can be checking in on that and you can set an appointment up with some of these really cool different dog stores and animal stores that allow you to do shots inside of their businesses. So having that information is going to be incredibly helpful. And then, of course, the last big thing that I want you to have information-wise in your phone is your dog's license information. Making sure all of the registration information, all of their licenses, all of those, again, shot dates are all in there means that when you are questioned about something or when you run into something, or if you have to fill out forms, let's just say you are setting up an appointment to go do something with your dog and you have to make sure you have information on those records on the forms you have to fill out. Now you have that information there. These are things that you want to make sure that are in your phone and they are tagged appropriately up at the top with what it is. So I would even encourage you to form one single document, say document on in your dog's name, information about Lucy or Gemma or Ember or whatever your dog's name happens to be. And have all those things listed from the important dates to the medical information to their measurements to the type of dog food that they're eating, snacks, allergies, anything that could be relevant. That's a good bonus pro tip. If your dog has allergies and someone somewhere at some point could potentially need to know about it, have those things written down there too, so that you just have this easy, cohesive document that you can send to people, you can copy and paste, you can get access to if you need to while you're out and about, so that you aren't held back in what you're doing because you have to wait to then go home and get information about your dog to then take those next steps forward. So this saves you a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of stress in what you're doing, and allows you to then have it at the touch of a finger and be able to send it easily to whoever you need. Like I said, have pictures of things. Make sure that you are putting things in special albums on your phone, having the tag words up at the top or hashtags down on the bottom so you can easily search for information about your dog. And I would even recommend, if you have more than one dog, keeping all of it in one note. I have 3 dogs. All of their measurements are in one document. I don't have individualized documents for them. It's all right there. So I can easily give or communicate information about all 3 of my dogs at the touch of a button when needed, and you will be able to do that as well. If you have ideas for things that should be included in this note section about your dog on your phone, go ahead and drop those down below. What's important information we didn't talk about here that we should be adding to our collection of information on our phones about our dogs so that we can easily get access whenever we need to. If you've got questions on how to save time and effort and make sure that you are making the most of your time with your dog, now is the time to go ahead and drop those questions. If there are things we need to test out for you or give information on or bring experts onto the show to give you more information about, now is the time. We will see you in the upcoming episodes as we continue to help you live your best, easiest, most stress-free, and most fruitful dog parent life possible. We'll see you in the next episode.